Welcome to the Daily Teens Podcast. I got one of my buddies, Chris, here. He works in the automotive field, and I've done photography for him. I almost stuttered on that one. I've done photography for him, and we've had a few recent projects. You even got me into one of the shops you work at, so appreciate it. And so how is your experience in the automotive industry? How long have you been in the automotive industry?
Actually in the industry, probably close to 5 years now, working on cars in a variety of aspects. But I've been around cars since I was 13, 14, so 10, 11 years at this point.
Yeah, man.
So I've been around quite a few, to say the least.
Gotcha. What do you prefer more, like the night scene car shows, or like the outside cars and coffee and like the bougier crowd? What do you think you like more?
I wouldn't really say like the cars and coffees are super bougie. There are definitely some that are very bougie. Like,
yeah.
The ones in Houston are pretty.
They can get, yeah.
They're like, I'll take out the Zonda today. Who owns this?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is it even on the road?
Yeah.
But for the most part, like the more kicked back cars and coffees are just substantially better.
Pretty nice,
I
yeah.
was in Austin not that long ago and went to one of those out there. It was super cool.
It was?
Like, yeah, there were a couple supercars there, but for the most part, it was just clean, like old school muscle cars and like some GT3
nice,
Style
yeah.
a couple Porsches.
What do you prefer best, like out of your kind of niche of cars? Like for me, I have a thing for American muscle. I mean, that Hellcat, every time I see it, it is. But for you, like, I know you like Porsches a lot and stuff like that,
yeah,
huh?
Porsches are pretty cool. Like, I've definitely come to have more of an appreciation for them than I have in the past. But for the most part, like all-wheel drive German tuner cars,
pretty sweet.
that's where it's at.
It is.
They're fast and comfortable and super nice inside, and for the most part, pretty bulletproof.
They are, yeah. Because I know what you drive. I keep forgetting. What do you drive?
I drive a 135i.
135.
Yeah.
And how long have you had that car?
Almost 2 years now.
And you're gonna be switching, huh?
Eventually. I'm thinking either S6 or S8.
And then what color are we gonna do it? Blue?
Yeah, I want to go Mexico blue.
That'd be sweet, dude.
Like my old tuners used to have a Mexico blue RS7, and that thing was spicy.
It was.
It was so cool.
When you get it, what customization things are you gonna do?
Probably not a whole lot. Most likely just catch up on maintenance.
Really?
I'm not gonna buy it new. I don't want to take that kind of depreciation whack. It's not gonna happen.
And actually, that was actually gonna be one of my questions. So, how do you think the car market is right now? Because we're trying to get rid of the Maserati, and like we've been into a lot of dealerships, and they say like their inventory is super low because they can't get. How do you think COVID? Do you think it's affected the car industry at all?
Yeah, mostly not a whole lot on like the used car side, but mostly like the new car side. Like I know that Porsche North is pretty much out of cars at this point. I mean,
really?
They have inventory, but
yeah,
it's not like it was at the beginning of the year when they were like, yeah, we have 700 cars in there. Like,
yeah.
All right. Definitely trading in your old car for a new car has gone down quite a bit because there's not as many new cars.
Exactly.
So they don't have used car inventory as much.
Mm-hmm.
So right now they're actually paying a lot more for used cars than new cars.
Gotcha. And a lot of people are buying up. And you know what's weird about this whole little pandemic thing? You would think things slowed down.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's actually sped up.
It's been crazy.
Like, because the amount of McLarens bought and stuff like that has actually weirdly gone up.
No, they're like out of stock at McLaren Houston.
Hey,
there's like almost nothing.
And it's like, are people bored or something? Like, man, they just got money to spend. And I think they're just bored, to be honest.
They have like 20 or 30 cars left over there.
That's crazy. Nuts.
Like, they're just like, yeah, we're not going to get any cars until like the beginning of next year. Like, ooh.
I know. So with work recently, what have you seen the most of?
A lot of Porsches.
Porsches?
Just out the wazoo.
just Porsche. What have you been doing to them recently?
I pretty much just give them a solid correction, which removes any like fine scratches and swirl marks that are left.
Yeah.
And ceramic coat it, and that's pretty much it. That's what I do.
Gotcha.
I help with the PPF installs, which is just clear raw. And help prep for like tint and things like that.
Gotcha. What? I know we can't trash anyone, but like, do you think, because like I told you earlier, in Houston you can go everywhere, and apparently everyone does PPF. Like you can walk into a tire shop and they say, oh, yeah, we got you. We got you. PPF, ceramic coating. Do you think, because a lot of people when they do spec out a car or they do get a car and they want to, most people, the 99% are on a budget, right? Yeah, so anywhere they could save money, they feel they want to save money. Right. But do you think truly, what do you think there's maybe like a barrier of how low can you go?
Yeah, definitely. Like at some point, it's the price that you're paying is not worth the quality that you're going to get. And most of that just comes down to like the installer and like the prep work that goes in beforehand. So if you have someone that's going to do it super cheap, but they're going to do like no prep work, then you're just hurting yourself later.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you have someone that's going to do it for more, but they do a lot of prep work, you'll be saving more money in the long run.
And do you think buying the more expensive products and stuff like the PPF, the ceramic coating, do you think that helps, or do you think there are some good budget options that'll get you maybe near quality, or I wouldn't say as good of quality, but maybe near quality?
I definitely think that you shouldn't cheap out on PPF.
You shouldn't?
Yeah, definitely not. Because that's one thing that's going to be stuck on there for a long time.
It is, yeah.
Like you have to peel it off every couple months. Like you're definitely something is wrong.
Something's wrong, yeah.
Definitely wrong. Coating stuff, for the most part, at the end of the day, they all do the same thing.
Okay.
But there are some that are just better than others for gloss and shine, and some that are just tougher but not as shiny.
Yeah.
And some that are shinier but not as tough.
Gotcha.
So you just have to pretty much figure out what you want.
Yeah, and I know you work with a lot of cars, so do you have maybe a story or two? Like, what has been one of the cars where you were like, it came in and you were just like, oh man, and it was just the worst. What was your worst?
It was like this last week. I had a Cadillac CT6 to do.
Oh, okay.
6,000 miles. You're like, all right, 6,000 miles isn't too bad.
Yeah, maybe been floored down I-10 a few times. Yeah,
but nothing super crazy.
Yeah,
6,000 miles, and that paint was demolished. It was so bad. Like, I'll send you the video. And it was brutal.
Man.
Scratches, floor marks, like some dents, dings, some like rock chips.
Dang.
Even like some sandblasting.
Ouch! Wow. Where did he park that thing? Jeez.
Right? Hey, if you just drive down any of the highways in Houston and there's construction, which is everywhere, like you're gonna get something here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
So how do you feel some of the new cars? Because one of my things, like on Car Buzz, I was reading recently, like the people are getting really mad at like Tesla and them because you're paying so much for a car and little paint imperfections like that. How do you think the paint is nowadays on cars? Like, because you can go out, spec a $300,000 Lambo, and the sad thing is people expect them to be like perfect. Yeah. But the truth is you can't really ever get a perfect car.
You can get pretty close, but you'll never ever be perfect. Like there's always going to be like some paint imperfection here or there, like a dust nib or like
whether it was from the paint or transport.
Exactly.
A lot some transport. Yeah.
No kidding, especially white cars.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part they get shipped overseas or from overseas, especially like German and JDM cars.
Yeah.
And they sit on a boat in a container and then they go on a rail like a train and then they're on a truck, and then they finally get there.
Yeah.
And by that time, like all the little like pieces of metallic flake from just containers, and especially rail dust is like super bad.
Oh,
just
man.
stick in the paint and then it starts to rust.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think buying, you can't ever expect perfect, but I think if you buy a new car and there are imperfections, I mean, you can always get them out, right? Yeah. For the most part, you can always get them out.
Yeah.
There's nothing, unless the thing was wrecked. Like, I mean, at that point, you can't do anything about that. But like, I think for the most part, you can always get them out. So don't ever be scared buying a new car and think, oh, if it's not perfect, something,
exactly. Just take it to someone who knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
That's all that really matters.
Exactly. So what are a few cars that have been on your mind recently? Like, I know for me it's been that M4, dude. Like the BMW forums are going crazy. People, the roast are hilarious.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
I've seen 1 trillion renderings of like different front ends because of course people are unhappy with it.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like it's drawing so much attention, they're gonna sell like crazy. So BMW knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I bet you their marketing team is just like sitting back and relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. But I actually saw a rendering of the M3 in black with a set of HREs on there in gold, and that thing looked sick.
It did?
At first I was like, all right, this green really isn't doing it for me. Like,
I saw the green. I've been seeing the green. I haven't seen the black.
It looks sweet.
It did?
Especially because, like, the grill is black, so you can't really tell that it's there as much.
But, yeah, very, very true. And on the M, I saw people because they did a rendering, or not a rendering, but they showed the image of just the base M4, and then they showed the M Spec with, you know, the carbon lip, and then people were like, oh, well, you're just trying to hide the masculinity of the grill. I mean, dude, I was dead. I was
dead. Have you seen the back end of that?
It actually looks. I actually like it.
The back end with the in-performance parts. It's crazy looking. You know the LFA? How
yeah.
Triangle.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. It does.
The right way, and there's like
dude. And I actually heard Akrapovich made an exhaust for it already. Have you heard it?
Of course, no.
Dude, that thing sounds. It's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty, and they're. It's gonna be cheaper than the previous M4's exhaust because they made it with something that makes it lighter and faster, and it's probably gonna add 5-10 more horsepower and making it breathe better, like for the life of it.
I heard the M4 like putter around when they were moving it for whatever reason for some photos on a boat somewhere.
Yeah,
you know how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but it sounded so metallic and raspy.
It does.
Shocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's tractor.
I mean, pretty much. But how do you think? Because I know you said you wanted to move over to the Audi platform.
Yeah.
I guess as Europe as a whole, because for me, I'm more of like an American, like I said, an American muscle type of guy. So I don't really know much about the tuning platforms and capabilities of Europeans. What do you think has to be like the brand that, man, they have their like stuff together, they're bulletproof, reliable, you can throw crazy power on them. Out of all the European brands, what do you think is like?
Of all the European brands, I haven't looked too much into Porsche tuning because like it's just not on my radar.
Yeah.
Benzes just seem to hold power like crazy. Like absolutely insane. Like I know the E63 with like a flash tune, they're like, yeah, it makes almost 800 horsepower. Like what?
And I actually one of the shops I photographed at, they had one. It was making 750 to the wheel.
Yeah, with like what, bolt-ons and a tune.
Yep. No, it was just a tune. Just a tune.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's insane.
No exhaust, nothing, just a tune. He got it. He had someone put the tune on it, wrapped it, and then took delivery of it. So he had all that stuff done before he even got it. It was crazy, and the thing was wicked fast.
Yeah, no,
wicked fast.
And they sound crazy.
They do. Have you heard? You know who F-Spot is? He's like he's one of the guys out in LA that they just take videos and photos on like Hollywood Boulevard of just the casual Bugatti driving by, and he has, man, I forgot what he has. He has one of those like 2005 V12s, the same V12s that were technology produced for like the Zondas, the Paganis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He just put a straight pipe that goes through it. The thing is, dude, the thing sounded like an F1 car. Yeah. I'm not even kidding you. He went through he took it to, he had it shipped to Japan for one of the Japan rallies. Yeah. He went through, those tunnels?
Yes.
Dude, it sounded literally like a Formula One car driving through. It was crazy. But, I mean, yeah, Benzes with bolt-ons and just tunes, those things do hold power very reliable. Fast. What do you think of like the Audis and stuff?
I like Audis a lot.
You do?
I work with a tuning shop that does almost exclusively like Audi and Volkswagen.
Yeah.
They're just the same company. Just
exactly. Yeah.
Kind of like how Lexus is a Toyota. So Audi is just that to Volkswagen.
Gotcha.
But those things are quick.
They are?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm not really too familiar with Audis. Like I've always kind of dismissed them.
They're fast, man. Like,
they are?
The RS3s are crazy. I know out in Nevada,
mm-hmm.
there's a company that tunes them, and they're like, yeah, this one makes 1,000 at the wheels. This one makes 1,100 at the wheels. Like, it's running low 8s with full interior and like just drag slicks. It's
That's
nuts.
crazy. What do
Yeah.
you think? So Benzes hold power. They're freaking
Nuts.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
Audis are quick. What do you think of Beamers?
Handling monsters.
Handling?
Porsche is just like Porsche definitely takes the cake with like everything because it's just super
I think they're
because that's just what they do. They're just pure.
and their
cars
development
all the way.
budgets are nuts.
Astronomically high, but BMW definitely creates like a more thrilling experience.
Mhm.
It's a little bit more raw. Like after driving a bunch of Audis and Benzes and BMWs and Porsches, like BMW by far feels the most raw,
Okay.
and then Audi feels very subdued, and Benz just like I'm just gonna be comfortable.
Yeah.
And Porsche-
Comfortable and get you
Yeah,
freaking
just
flying.
fast.
Yeah.
And then Porsche is just like, all right, we're just gonna do everything well, and that's gonna be it.
Nice. So, yeah, those are. I'd say pretty much those three are the three. What do you think of like supercar tunability?
For which companies?
Let's go with Lambo first.
The only thing that you can really do to a Lambo is either throw on just like a flash tune
Or twin turbo the living mess out of it.
ship it off to UGR in North Carolina and get some twins.
Yeah, but what do you think supercars, man? Because have you seen how many supercars and hypercars are popping out the womb?
Yeah,
It's
insane.
like, and they're all either hybrid, electric, or like make 1100 horsepower out of a V8 block.
Right.
Like it's all
insane.
nuts. Do you think it's kind of been flooded with just this whole technology thing, or do you think there's still amazing raw cars?
I think they're still fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like sometimes they're small and quirky and weird things. Like
Yeah.
Lambos, all the buttons for like driving are on the right, like in the center console.
Yeah.
Except to go forward.
yeah, yeah,
Like you hit the paddle to put it in drive, but everything else is drive mode and reverse and park and neutral. It's all in the middle except drive. So I don't know why they do that, but it is what it is.
yeah.
McLarens are pretty straightforward. They just have buttons for everything. It's kind of nice.
It is, yeah.
It's like park, reverse, neutral, drive. That's it.
Out of the three kind of main poster boy supercars, like the Ferrari,
Yeah.
Lambo, and McLaren, which one are you rooting for?
I would probably go McLaren.
Really?
Honestly. Yeah. Ferraris are super cool. Don't get me wrong. They're fast. They look really good. I think Lambos are still... They're very cool, but they still remind me a little bit of like Little Ricer Boy. Because they're loud. They're so loud.
They are, and one thing truly I don't like about Lambos, is how flooded they are.
They have a lot of models.
They do, and it's not only the models. It is, I hate to stereotype people, but it is like, if I get rich,
I buy a Lambo.
I buy a Lambo. You know where
100%.
I'm going with
Yeah.
that. And Ferrari seems like the more high price exclusive club in a
Yeah.
way, and that's not to stereotype anyone. That's just the
It's just what it
truth.
seems like,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And McLaren's is just like, I feel like they're a little more subtle than the two,
They are.
but they pack a punch.
No kidding.
Have you seen the 765 LT?
Yeah, that thing looks sweet.
And it does, dude. The back with the quad exhaust straight in the middle. That thing looks sick. And one of the YouTubers I like, he's actually gonna be. He took a 720.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna try to do like a street legal, because you've seen like the street legal Hurricanes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where they have like the GT3. What's it called? What are the GT3
Like the
Hurricanes? Yeah, they're
Body kits, basically.
yeah, they have a name for him, but I just forgot. He's gonna do a road legal version of that on his Huracan,
Okay.
but he's also gonna do the GT3 style McLaren,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for
know.
that thing. That thing's gonna be sick, and he's gonna try to produce like 1100 of the wheels.
It's possible. Like, I was at 2K earlier this year, and I was with the company 360 Exotics, and they had a 720S that was running in 2K in like the stock DCT and turbo class,
Yeah,
and he was just on downpipes, meth injection, and MS-109 tune, which is just race gas. He
yeah.
was making like 950 at the wheels.
Jeez,
With like nothing but downpipes, meth, and gas, and a tune, of course, but
that's crazy.
stock turbo, stock intakes, stock transmission, stock axles, brakes, tires, like stock
Jesus
everything
Christ.
except downpipes, meth, and tune, and MS-109.
Yeah.
But it was blisteringly quick. Sounded crazy, of course.
That's dope.
So I'm sure people that get like hybrid turbos. I know that Pure Turbos makes a lot of hybrid turbos for a whole bunch of cars, like Audis, Volkswagens, BMWs. I think they have a couple for Porsches. They have one or two for Mercedes, and then of course like McLaren and Ferrari and stuff like that. So they're like, yeah, we have hybrid turbos. You should be able to push 12, 1300 at the wheel with those.
Dang.
So it'll be pretty straightforward. Just bolt on new turbos, down pipes, meth, and tune.
Yeah. So I know we've talked about cars a lot now. What do you think? What do you think a car shows now?
After looking at SEMA this last year, I was just like, everyone's just super wide body. I mean, the Supra came out.
Not even super wide body. Supras.
Super
Supras.
wide body. That's all it was.
GR Supras. Pandem Supras.
HKS Supras.
Yeah. And actually, TJ Hunt came out with probably one of the cleanest looking kits. And the cool thing was it was 3D printed.
Yeah.
That was interesting. And I was like, man, that's really cool.
Big 3D printer.
Oh yeah, of course. He went to an external company and
there was like printed.
Here's the printing budget, print the mess out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, SEMA, and that's one of the things, I haven't been to SEMA yet. I was supposed to go last year, and then I wanted to go this year, but of course,
COVID.
Exactly. Yeah. And 2K, I was supposed to go last year as well, but I happened to be out of town.
That's unfortunate.
And so I was like, dang it.
Like, if you go on the weekends for 2K, it's just all GTRs.
I remember you telling me that, but the week you get like the
Wednesday,
cool runs.
Thursday, Friday, all the fun ones where it's like the small block class and like small tire and street tire and like stock DCT class and stock turbo class.
I really want to
also the roll races, because they do all the roll races before the weekend. Because on the weekend it's just all drag races, which ends up just being pretty much all GTRs.
Gotcha.
But the roll races are crazy.
They are?
Yeah.
Well, what's the fastest you've seen?
8.1 at 238 in the rolling quarter mile.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was UGR in their red Lambo.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
A couple of their cars got knocked out. Like, either they lost, which I think that happened once because they either had a misfire or something. One of them snapped an axle. And so I think 3 out of the 4 cars that they had there were just out. And so they had the red Lambo. And they were just like, all right, if it's going to die, it's going to die.
It's going to...
They just put like the...
You gotta love drag mentality, dude.
I know.
They throw as much power as they can at it and just say, send it.
No, that thing was making apparently like 3,500 at the wheel, which is nuts. Like, I was sitting behind the strip and I watched him start to do the roll. And as soon as he floored it, I saw all 4 tires like kick out. And I was like, ooh, this is either going to be terrible or fantastic. It kicked out like probably 20, 30 degrees to the left. And then just hooked and sent it through the end. 238 in the rolling quarter is insane.
That must have been
60 to 238.
Nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Dude, imagine just sitting in a rocket ship like that.
No, that's what it is probably.
Dude, that would be... I wonder if he like went over a few practice rounds. How do you even control something like that?
No idea. You have to have balls.
Yeah, dude, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an understatement. On the tuning side, do you think there are... Because I know we talked about product-wise, and most people have a budget to do... When customizing your car, do you think there are like
do's and don'ts?
Yeah, what are your do's and don'ts of tuning?
If you're buying an older performance car, like maintenance 100% all the way until you're like sure. So like spark plugs, coil packs, water pump, thermostat, timing belt or timing chain if it has that, and you need to do it, because I know the old B7 and B6 Audi S4s, which was like 04 through 08 or 9, they had serious timing chain issues.
Gotcha.
Because the timing chain guides were plastic.
Oh, actually, I watched a video of them replacing it. I saw one guy get his finger caught in one.
Yeah, and then the bad part is that the timing chain on those engines is on the back of the engine, so you have to pull the engine out to do it. Oh. It's like a crazy huge job, and there's so much chain and timing guides, and so it's a mess. But yeah, maintenance 100% for old cars first.
Okay.
And then that includes like brakes.
Yeah. mandatory. I mean, I hope people do their brakes.
But definitely brakes and wheels and tires would be the first go-to. And of course, like if your suspension's busted, like you have a blown shock or something, just get a nice set of coilovers if you can. I wouldn't recommend springs. I did springs once, and like it was okay. It made me lower and it looked nice, but the driving characteristics were just not there. Not there. And I was like, next car that I get, coilovers is going to be a thing.
What do you think? Because I haven't had a car yet.
Yeah.
And there's nothing sweeter than all those cars at the car shows.
Yeah.
When their tires are right here to the fender on bags.
Yep.
Because I haven't actually had the experience of driving a car on bags. Out of all the suspension platforms, coil springs,
bags, stock
bags, yes, everything. What do you think is truly the best, and what do you think is sometimes the worst? Because I know also it plays a big characteristic on what car it's on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of subjective because like you pretty much you have to just exclude bins immediately because almost all of their cars now are on air from factory.
Yes.
And so if you want to go low, you just get different end links and it'll just slam it.
Yeah.
And like done.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It is, wrong, yeah.
But also it's like, all right, it's cheating. If you have a car that has like traditional suspension, which is coil and spring, or spring and strut, definitely I would just swap to coilovers. Just keep it within the same family. I mean, they designed it to work like that, so I don't want to alter it too much.
But completely change a platform if it's not going to work.
But it also depends on like what you're going to use the car for. Like if you're going to use it every day, like I probably wouldn't recommend bags. Like it's cool and they're super comfortable. Yeah. And like they can handle super well because if you need to be stiffer, you just pump more air in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, it's expensive. Don't get me wrong. You spend a lot on coilovers, but not.
At least they won't blow on you.
Exactly. And if they do, usually they're backed by a pretty solid warranty.
Yeah, exactly. And I've personally seen driving into Coffee and Cars. It was last year.
Oh boy.
It's I-10, right? The Memorial. Mm-hmm. Driving off of I-10, on the side, there was I forgot what it was.
Boy, let's hear it.
I want to say it was a Scat Pack. It might have been a Hellcat, couldn't see the badge.
Yeah.
Back was blown.
Classic.
Back was just blown. I was like, ouch. And that's pulling, that's like right before you exit to Memorial. I was like, dude, you couldn't even make it to the show. Like ouch.
Yeah, but I think overall, probably best driving experience I had was actually in a Golf. It was in a GTI that had a set of Öhlins on there. Mm-hmm. And Öhlins are super nice. Yeah. I've been looking at them for a while. They're just expensive, but softer than stock, except when you turn the wheel and like half through the corner, they're as firm as can be. Yeah. They're beautiful coilovers. Nice. One thing that's crazy is that I know some Volvos, like the Polestar editions, they come with adjustable Öhlins from factory. Which is nuts.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they come like height adjustable and like dampening adjustable. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Olin partnered with Volvo like Fox does with Ford.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It's because Öhlins and Volvo are both in the same country.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, yeah, we'll have one of our trucks just take an exit. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty dope. That's actually super dope.
Polestar cars are severely underrated.
Really?
They're not as fast as like their German competitors for the same price, or even like American competitors for the same price. But some of the stuff that you get from factory is crazy. Like Öhlins, they come with Öhlins and Brembos from factory. Damn. Just straight up, nice and simple.
That's clean. Yeah. That's a clean setup.
And they're pretty nice inside, but Volvos are underrated, at least in my opinion.
What do you think? I know we've been talking about European and muscle. Mm-hmm. Let's go over one more little subcategory. Let's go into JDM because I was talking about the RX. Man, mm-hmm. I looked on Craigslist. The RX-7 prices are nuts.
Yeah, the FD RX-7s are still demanding a serious premium.
Exactly, and it was actually pretty cool because I got to see a Supra the other day, and I was just like, and then the one thing about me is I category jump a lot. That's so fair. Like I'll be working with you one day and like we see the Audi R8 and I'm like just like cool. Supercars. I see a Supra pass by, I'm like squirrel, JDM, and then I see a Hellcat and there's like muscle. But like on the JDM side, the tunability on those are crazy.
Yeah.
Other than the Subi Squad. I can't do the Subi Squad.
I know.
I can't.
Because like I'm in like a little group of friends, and like I'm the only person in it that has a German car.
Oh really?
Yeah, they all have JDM cars. Like I have a friend, he has a 2016 WRX STI. It's World Rally Blue. It's like full bolt-ons, EGR delete, TGV delete, intercooler, E85 tune, bigger injectors, colder plugs, like short shift kit, whole 9 yards.
He went down the Amazon shopping cart.
Oh, the only thing he hasn't really done at this point is built motor and big turbo. So he's done basically everything else.
Yeah.
Which, props to him. Super clean car. Pretty quick, but my last car was faster.
Yeah.
And I had downpipe, intake, and a tune. And, on 93, and he was on E85. It was kind of embarrassing for him, but also like, you know, German cars are a thing.
Yeah.
And then my other friend Nate, he has a FC RX-7 Turbo 2, like 10th anniversary edition.
Nice.
Super clean.
That's clean, yeah.
He's getting it like all sorted out right now. Beautiful car. He just got a downpipe since his old cat just went out because it's 30 years old. So it was time anyway. And then I have a friend Aiden. He has an Evo 1 that he got imported from Japan.
I like
drive.
Evos.
Yeah.
I do.
So they all love their JDM cars, and
odd one out.
yeah, I'm the only one that's out, and like my car's been the most bulletproof out of all of them. I think it's hilarious. But I was just like, yeah, this went wrong, that went wrong, this went wrong, and I was just like, no one really supports those cars except for like Cobb, basically.
Yeah.
Or like very specialized tuners, especially for the RX-7. Like,
yeah. Well, because no one wants to deal with the constant headache of a rotor.
Exactly. Except him.
One.
He's crazy. It sounds great. It shoots flames. Whatever.
Yeah, but like it's a mess. Yeah. But JDMs are pretty nuts. What do you think is on your list of some of the cars that are going to be imported here soon? Because I think in 7 years we're going to get an absolute flood
of
at every car show of R34s.
Yep.
And I actually kind of like it right now because they're popular, but they're not flooded.
Exactly.
They're not flooded. And I'm telling you, once that dam gets lifted,
I know. It's going to be everyone under the sun.
Yeah, it is. But not only that, I forgot what else is coming in. We have the R34. R32s are allowed to come in, right?
Yeah, they're already here. R33s are, I think, in the next year or two. I don't remember what years they were made, so I can't really say. But I know after 25 years. So right now it's anything 1995 and below can be imported. And
then, man, there's something else that we're getting that I completely forgot.
Some GDM car that I'm
just
sleeping
something
on.
That's something that's gonna get flooded here pretty soon. But and the funny thing is, a lot like on YouTube, a lot of YouTubers that have money for those types of cars, because dude, you buy them for like just to buy one and have it stored.
Oh, I know.
It's like 60 to sometimes for a built one.
Yeah.
$100,000
easily,
and you can't drive the car unless you're in that.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy smokes. And you're going to wait 7 years?
To just like, sit? Like, great.
That's crazy. Yeah. That has to be crazy. I don't know if I could do putting $30,000 into something, not only that, over the border.
Yeah.
Or, no, not even over the border. Over the other, the other side of the world. That's a lot of trust and faith.
It's funny that you say that because like Nate actually had his R32 GTR imported.
He did?
Yeah, he had 2 GTSTs that both were in accidents, both not his fault. Like, one he got hit by a Mustang, classic Mustang. I know, right?
Oh man.
Right, and then one he got T-boned. And so he's just like, all right, well, now I have settlements from both.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because one of them was actually used in Tokyo Drift as like a scene car on the side.
Wow.
And so he bought it for like 12 and then insurance paid out like 35. And